Welcome to episode 13 of the Lose It podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishments. If it's your first time on the podcast, I greatly appreciate you being here and supporting everything that this community has to stand for. I'm sure that you will find this content very helpful for you in your journey of losing weight, keeping weight off, and having a healthier relationship with your body, food, exercise, and everything else in the world. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo. 5 years ago, I lost 110 pounds and have kept it off after a lifetime of gaining and losing weight. 3 months ago, I dedicated my life to sharing my story, sharing the realities of what it took to lose weight and keep weight off, and sharing the story of how different my life is now than it was when I was fat as fuck. Welcome to episode 13. This episode is all about friendships and weight loss. Friendships and weight loss. You hear it all the time, this whole no new friends thing, or you hear people talk about their day one friends, and there's this big, importance. Society is really highlighting for us the importance of having day one friends. I am more of a day two focused kind of person. Now, here's what I mean from that. Day one friends are people that you grew up with. They're people that were in your proximity, not by choice. These are your friends from elementary, high school, high school, college. They might even be your family members or cousins or more distant sort of family members. They might be people that you grew up in the same neighborhood with. They might be people that you worked with at some point, but they're people where you were forced to be around them by proximity, and you built friendships off of those proximities. Day two friends are your chosen friends. They're your friends, your friendships that you've developed after you've gotten to know yourself more. They're people that you have experienced a lot of growth without, and you have developed yourself into more of who you want to be. And then you met these people as a more developed version of yourself that is focused on getting better. So for me, my day one friends are my high school and college friends. Mostly my college friends are my day one friends. Or even people that lived in my apartment building after I graduated from college as a 23 or 24, 25-year-old. They're people that I was with, hanging out with because of the proximity. My day two friends are my friends that I chose. It's my small circle of men that I hang out with and see every week, where we're bouncing ideas off of each other and holding ourselves accountable to the things that we're working towards. There's a point in everyone's story, and there's a point in my story where you start to go in a different direction from your day one friends. So when I think about some of my day one friends, right, my friends from college, we go on a trip every year, and we go drink a bunch of alcohol for 3 or 4 days and hang out and talk about how great college was. And do you remember the time 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when XYZ happened and someone did this and that was funny, and someone did that dumb thing that was funny because we were so drunk. And so much of these day one relationships are built on things that happened in the past. Things that happened in the past. They're memories, right? These relationships are focused on things that already happened. There are ways to evolve those day one friendships into day two friendships, where you can take those friendships and start bettering yourself and start helping your friends better themselves as well. But the reality of self-improvement and the reality of weight loss specifically, if you're fat and you're hanging around with a bunch of other people that are not supporting you in going the direction of losing weight to be healthier, or people that are not bettering themselves, which is more important. If you're around people that are not bettering themselves, like your day one friends, they just don't seem like they're really going anywhere. They don't seem like they're really trying to make more money. They don't seem like they're trying to really be a better partner to their boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband or wife, right? They don't seem like they're trying to get in better shape or eat better or evolve, and they're just kind of stagnant in their jobs and they're kind of stagnant in their lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The beauty of being a conscious human being is that we get to choose what we spend our time on. And whether you want to spend your time on Netflix and Hulu and watching movies and whatever else is totally fine. But those are not the same people that are putting a lot of focus into bettering themselves, specifically health-wise, like losing weight and getting in better shape. You don't have to leave those people behind. You don't have to have a friendship breakup, but you do need to understand that the people that you communicate with the most are mirrors as to the direction that you are going. You can pretty accurately predict where someone is going by the company that they keep. If you're someone that's trying to better yourself and you're hanging out with a bunch of people that go home and smoke weed after work or go out on the weekends and get drunk as fuck on Friday and Saturday, it's going to be really hard for you to start improving yourself. And this became really clear to me just last year. Last year, the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I had moved to Austin a few months previous, and I was spending a lot of time with the guys that I met when I first moved here, mostly that lived in my apartment. And we would just go out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and eat a bunch of bullshit food and get drunk and just kind of do stupid shit. And there was a point where I was like, oh my God, this is dragging me down. These other people aren't dragging me down, but me being around people that I can see are not consciously working on themselves. And the thing is, I also wasn't really consciously working on myself, but I felt a need to do it. And it felt very conflicting to want to work on myself, to have this desire to work on myself, but also be going out and doing things that I knew were directly conflicting with the things that I wanted to do. I want to have a better relationship with food. I want to grow my business. I want to make more money. I want to help people. But instead, I'm out hanging out with my day one friends, my friends of proximity, my friends that live in my apartment building. And I'm saying yes to going out and getting drunk, and then I'm sleeping in on Saturday, and then I feel slow for days, and then I'm kind of eating like shit sometimes. And there was just no consistency. There was no consistency. You don't need to break up with your friends, but you do need to spend less time with people that are not bettering themselves. And you do need to have, I'm very fortunate to have this. So I use the word need. Maybe I should be using the word need. You would greatly benefit from spending time with people that you can talk about your goals with, that you can talk about your wins with, you can talk about your losses with, and that you know have your best interests in mind, and that actually have healthy habits themselves and are moving in a similar trajectory. The reality is that very few people in the world ever consciously do things that are hard as a way to better themselves. So how do you transition from having day one friends to day two friends? Here's how I rank it. The best case scenario is you're surrounded by people that are all moving in that are all consciously working on themselves to move in the right direction. That's best case scenario. The scenario underneath that is that you are alone and you don't have friends and you're spending time by yourself, but you're still moving in the right direction. That's the next best case scenario. The next scenario is the worst one, and that's that you are surrounded by people that are moving in the wrong direction, that are doing things that are unhealthy, or that are just not prioritizing their health or their own improvement. It's better to be alone than it is to be surrounded by a bunch of, in my case, people that are out drinking all the time, or earlier than that, people that are also fat as fuck, just like I was, that are not consciously trying to work on themselves. That is the worst case scenario, because when you look at these other people, the power of the group, the mental energy and the power of the group and the collective consciousness is more powerful than your own mental capacity. You will be heavily influenced by the people you spend time with, whether it's conscious or not. Whether you consciously think, oh, this guy's doing this and I spend time with him, I'm not going to do that, though. You might not be doing that, but it is influencing you. When you spend time with someone, they influence you. There's no way that people that you are around do not influence you. They influence your thought, always. And what I did about a year ago is I just stopped spending time with those people. I stopped spending time with those men that just wanted to go out and drink. And I didn't break up with them. There wasn't like an instance where I was like, I'm moving in this direction. I don't think that I'm better than them. I could just feel that me spending time around people that are not consciously wanting to talk about bettering themselves was making it hard for me to think about bettering myself. So I spent a couple months totally alone. I spent some time with no friends. I guess I kind of broke up with them. There was no conversation about it, but I stopped going out. I stopped drinking. I stopped, eating a bunch of tacos on Saturday night when I was drunk as fuck and just doing stupid shit that I'm not even going to remember a week from now because it had no importance to my life. I spent some time alone. And over time, I started meeting people and made it a point in my life to meet people that were moving in the same direction or moving in a positive direction consciously. So I was out at a concert with someone and with a buddy of mine, and I met another guy, talked to him, went up to myself, introduced myself. We're talking about fitness or whatever, and we end up exchanging Instagrams. Through that conversation, he invites me out to a get-together that he had. Through that get-together, met another now great friend of mine. This was about a year ago. And from these two relationships, have built a very small circle of men that I trust with my life that are consciously improving themselves. And the energy of that is fucking contagious. It's contagious. And to hear what these men are working on with themselves, their finances, their relationships, their fitness, their health, their longevity, and all of their other goals, even if it's not a specific goal that I'm working towards, I get energy from hearing people that I care about winning. I get energy from hearing people that I care about failing and then overcoming the failure and consciously recognizing what they did wrong and then making that correction so that next time they don't do it wrong. Who you spend your time with matters. It matters. It's better to be alone than to be around negative influences. It's better to be around positive influences than it is to be alone. So if you're someone that is hanging out with a bunch of people that are not going in the right direction right now, the best thing you can do for yourself and for those people is spend a little bit less time with them and start moving in the right direction yourself. And it might be a little bit lonely. And you might recognize that you can bring up the collective of the group. If you have a bunch of friends that you're hanging out with, out drinking, or you have a bunch of friends that you're hanging out with that are eating a bunch of bullshit and sitting around smoking weed, playing video games, or watching hours of Netflix or movies, or jerking off, or whatever they're doing every night, you can actually help them by spending less time with them and by improving yourself. Now, I took this approach multiple times in life, and what you notice when you start pulling away from the other people around you, not pulling away as if you're better, but pulling away as in you're spending less time with them to focus on what is truly important to your life. You're not better or worse than them. But what you notice in doing so is sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes people don't like it. I had friends that I was going out with, and I would start, we'd go out drinking, and I would just drink water. So I'd be out with friends that were getting drunk, and I'd have one drink and then just drink waters. And I'd go home at 11:30 or midnight when everyone else would stay out till 4 or 5 in the morning. This is where the point that I got to last year. And it was always all these comments about, oh, what, you're too cool to stay out and drink? Oh, you're too cool to do shots? Oh, you're too cool to stay out past midnight? Okay, old man, go. And it's not, no, I'm not too cool. And, but I am too cool to sleep in until noon tomorrow. And I'm too cool to waste my entire morning because I'm fucking hungover. And I had a lot of very pointed conversations with these people in my life. Hey, for us to be in each other's lives, you need to fucking stop making these comments because this is the direction that I'm going. I would love for you to come in this direction with me. And to have that level of transparency with someone and to really vocalize to them what you want for yourself and put it out into the world and to put it out into the friendship. This isn't what I want for this friendship. What I want in this friendship is for us to be moving in the right direction together. What I want for this friendship is for us to be examples to each other as to how much we can win. And I want us to hold each other accountable. I want us to be like brothers, or in your case, like sisters that got each other's back no matter what. Is that the kind of friendship that you're interested in? Can you have that conversation with your friends right now? Can you look your friend in the eye and say, brother, sister, whatever, I got your back no matter what, and I want to move in this positive direction. Do you want to move in this sort of direction too? Because I think we can do this together. Would you want to do that together? Give them a choice. Tell them where you're going, and you're going that way with or without them. But if they went with you, that would be great. To have somebody on the journey with you is invaluable. It's invaluable. So much of my journey, I was alone. And what I realized through bettering myself, and you might be at a point where you haven't really done much self-improvement. For me, self-improvement was really heavily tied to losing weight. As I lost weight, I improved my speech, my eye contact, my personality, my relatability, my ability to speak to others and tell stories and listen and provide feedback, and everything in my life improved. My health improved. I feel better. I stand straighter. I make 3 times more money than I did 4 or 5 years ago when I was fat as fuck. My finances improved. My knowledge of almost everything is significantly higher now, and that's a part of growing up, but it's also just a part of battling yourself. It's a part of conquering yourself. It's a part of doing things that are hard with the intention of becoming a better person. And when you become a better person through improving yourself, again, for me, that was weight loss. For you, it might be something else. You start attracting higher quality people into your life. When you start improving yourself, you start attracting higher quality people into your life. When you start having stories that inspire people, you start attracting higher quality people into your life. If you're an alcoholic or a drug addict and you conquer your addiction, you now have a story that a lot of people can relate to. And through that story, you can build relationships that turn into lifelong friendships of other people that are also bettering themselves in every single way, whether it's finances, relationships with addiction, relationships with other people, fitness, longevity, whatever it is that you want to do. The way to improve yourself is to fix the thing about yourself that everyone knows is wrong with you. If you're fat, everyone looks at you and sees, oh, they have an issue with either food or exercise or anxiety or whatever it might be, that the reason that you are fat or laziness. When you address the issue that everyone knows, oh, I know that my friend drinks way too much alcohol. Everyone around you knows that you're kind of a boozer. When you fix that issue, people gain a different respect for you. Whether they vocalize it or not, internally they do. It might trigger something in them where there's elements of jealousy. And this is something, or there's elements of envy, or there's elements of it pissing people off, because when you find a way to do something that other people haven't been able to do, it makes them question themselves. And this happened to me with a lot of my friends from college that are fat, or that were fat, and that are fatter now than they were 5 years ago. And they look at me now and to my face are nice. Behind my back, I hear them say things about how I went on a diet that was unsustainable, or that I lost weight in XYZ way. And they make excuses about how they can't do the same thing. And it's because deep down inside, they see what I have done, and they haven't found a way to do that in their own way. And that's really relatable. I used to feel like that too. Anyone that hasn't gone through a big self-improvement journey is going to feel a little bit of something in their chest, even when for people that are really close to them, like your own friends. If you're an alcoholic and your other friend's an alcoholic too, and then they go out and they completely conquer their relationship with alcohol, and then they stop spending time with you and you're out drinking on Friday and Saturday, even if they're your best friend, you're still probably going to feel a little bit of like, fuck, God, how the fuck did he do that? And it's going to piss you off a little bit. And that's a natural feeling. That is a natural feeling. Use a feeling like that to your advantage and take that energy, take the little bit of envy, take maybe even the little bit of jealousy that you feel and turn it into productive action. Ask that person to help you. Ask your friend to help you. Be the friend that other friends come to for help. The best way to get something is to give it to someone else. If you're someone that's on a weight loss journey and you have friends that are fat as fuck all around you, give them the tools that they need, should they be willing to accept it, to start their own journey, to have more success on their own journey. And in doing so, you're going to heal more of yourself. You're going to make your own journey more sustainable. As you start to become this person that's losing weight, and then you turn into the person that helps other people lose weight, or that helps other people do whatever it is that you did, you start becoming the wise man on the bench. You start becoming the teacher. You go from being the student to the teacher. And when you become the teacher, it becomes fully sustainable. No teachers are ever going to go back to where they were in the beginning. If you get to the point where you help other people do the thing that you did, you will help your friends. When you help your friends will help you, because it will help you imagine yourself as a leader, at least in your friend group, in whatever it is that you're doing. And there's no way that you're going to go back. You're burning the boats. You're putting so much distance between who the fuck you were when you were fat as fuck and who you are now and who you're becoming in the future, that there's no way you could ever go back. The way to sustainably maintain anything that you improved on, like your weight, is to help other people do the same thing. If you're someone that is spending time right now, a lot of time alone, and you don't have friends, know that it's better to move in the right direction alone than to move in the wrong direction as a pack. It's better to move in the right direction alone than it is to move in the wrong direction with a herd of people. This is not a popularity contest. It doesn't matter that you have 100 friends if they're all fucking losers and if they're dragging you down. It would be better for you to be alone and move in the right direction. And once you get going in the right direction, you're going to meet other people that are also moving in the right direction. The best way to meet people is to talk to people. Get into the gym and take your earphones off when you're at the gym. Go to the gym at the same time every day or every week or whatever your schedule looks like. Go at the same time. Go at 7 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And talk to people at the gym. Hey, how are you? Good, yeah, just started going here. I'm Nick. Hey, good to meet you. Yeah, see you next time. What are you lifting? Cool. Yeah, talk to you next time. And then you see them next time. And then you see them the time after that. And over time, you start getting to know people. You start developing relationships. You start getting invited to things. You can start inviting other people to things. Yeah, I'm going to check out this trail. I'm going on a hike this weekend. You want to come? Yeah. Boom. Now you've got this person that you just talked to at the gym a couple times a week for a couple months, had small talk with them, it developed into a friendship. You're now going and doing an event with them where you are growing a deeper relationship with someone that has something in common with you, like working out and prioritizing their health, and it's contagious. It's contagious. I was on a rec league basketball team a few months ago, met a lot of people on the rec league basketball team, then also went to the same gym as me, took those relationships, expanded them through going to the gym at the same time every day. That led to me getting invited to a different gym for a workout. Through going to that different gym, met someone that hosts a podcast here in Austin, Texas, and just got invited onto their podcast yesterday and did a full recording. Because I joined a rec league basketball team that I didn't know anybody on. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to not know anybody. It's better to be alone than to be surrounded by a bunch of stoner alcoholics that eat like shit and don't prioritize their health and aren't good partners and are also just goofing off, jerking off, watching porn or whatever the fuck they're doing. It's better to be alone. If you're alone, improve yourself as much as you can so you can add value to friendships that will be better for you in the long run. If you can adopt that mindset of positive friendships are better than being alone, are better than negative friendships, and you look at that like a ladder that you can climb, really visualize that ladder of climbing from the bottom to the top of that. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Say yes to everything that is in alignment with your goals. Not going out and getting drunk, but maybe going out and getting a drink at a happy hour. Not going out to Golden Corral buffet and eating 5,000 calories of pizza and fried chicken, but going on a hike. Take your existing friendships, and the next time that you guys would typically go out and do something that you know is not helping you contribute to your goals, go do something that is contributing to your goals instead. Hey man, I'm kind of over the drinking thing this weekend. Let's go out. You want to go on a hike? You want to go on a walk? You want to go to the gym instead? Let's just do something more active. I want to be more active. Like, have those conversations with your friends. See if you can take your friends with you. But if you can't take them with you, if they give you shit for wanting to change, if they make it hard for you to change, don't be afraid to spend less time with them, and don't be afraid to tell them, hey, I love you, man, or I love you, sister, whatever. I got your back no matter what. I know you got my back no matter what, but I'm just moving in this direction, and I'd love for you to come with me. I really want to see what's over here. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised how liberating it is to have a real conversation like that with somebody. Give it a try, and let me know how it goes. If you made it to the end of the podcast, I greatly appreciate you being here. Episode 13. 13 is my lucky number. It's crazy being 13 weeks into podcasting and having so much positive response from people that are listening to this podcast. And I really appreciate everyone's support. I really appreciate everyone that is messaging me on Instagram, telling me their stories and telling me how these things are impacting them. It makes me feel really motivated to keep making this content. And these are really informal podcasts. I don't have a script. I'm just looking at myself in the mirror right now as if I'm talking to my old self and just doing one takes, no edits at all. So yeah, if you want to keep seeing these podcasts, shoot me a DM and let me know. It gives me a lot of encouragement. And if you made it to the end of the episode, if you would go ahead and leave an honest review on Spotify or on Apple, whatever it is that you're listening on, it helps us get the message out a little bit more, the more ratings that we have and the more comments that we have. So If you want to help the algorithm for the Lose It podcast and to get the Lose It community out there to more people that would benefit from hearing this, that is the best way to do it. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Wednesday.